It's time for Money Matters, very important conversations pertaining to money. Money does make the world go round, and as adults and as Africans, we need to have these money conversations every
You're talking
day.
about yourself here.
Yeah, no, we do need to have these money conversations every day. You know what I mean? Well, today we're speaking about being a stay-at-home parent, and it's one of the most demanding and important jobs. But it often comes without a paycheck, which is the biggest problem, right? With no benefits or even a clear path to financial independence. And while you're investing time and energy into your family, it's just as important to invest in your own financial well-being, because too often stay-at-home parents are left out of the financial planning conversations despite playing a critical role in the household's long-term stability. We talk about key strategies to help stay-at-home parents gain financial clarity, build resilience, but also feel confident about their parental roles. Joining us in this conversation is Neressa Appavoo, who is a financial advisor at Old Mutual Limited. That's an African financial services group. Neressa, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you,
quite a
Benjamin
pleasure.
and Selena.
Thank you so much. It's Palesa, by the way. It's Benjamin and Palesa that you're chatting to this morning. Well, we're going to be speaking about this, right? We've heard the conversations, we've heard the studies that, stay-at-home parents do invest quite a lot of time, a lot of energy, and really a big amount of unpaid work that, that's a big problem. It should be paid, but it is still unpaid in the most part. But it is work nonetheless. But however, they don't really think about them as key financial roles. Let's speak about that. Why are stay-at-home parents not seen as participants to key financial conversations in the household?
Yeah. So, Palesa, I think excellent question. And thank you. Before we begin, just a disclaimer from my end. Please note that whatever we discuss on this show is not taken as and does not constitute financial advice. If you do need financial advice, each person's personal circumstances would need to be factored, and then a tailor-made financial plan would need to be visited and then created for that individual. You may contact your personal financial advisor or contact me after the session. In any event, thank you, Palesa.
Thank you.
So, as a stay-at-home mom, I think if you stay-at-home moms and dads, because we're seeing more and more on the rise, a dual gender role.
Yeah.
If we look at the individual, moms and dads, you are the CFO of your home. So although, we say that maybe not taken as seriously, even though you're working and you may not be working in the formal sector, think about it. You're saving thousands in the household in terms of childcare, food prep, home management, the economic value that you're adding. So saving is not just about money, it's about financial freedom. And just look at what you're doing.
But then you can say that, but we don't literally see it like that as society. We just see it as a benefit, staying at home, man. You are staying at home. So this is one of your benefits. You don't have to go to work. How do we change that and see it in the way that you've said it there in terms of the financial benefits of it?
Yes, now I hear you, Benjamin. I think that, we have to be in very, very decisive and very, it's an emotional segment. Like you say, there has to be a certain amount of empathy. There has to be healthy family routines. There's got to be financial efficiency. And if we look at the flexibility and focus. So if we look at the individual, right? Why is the person staying at home? So if we look at it, is it a primary caregiver? So let's go back to the reasoning behind why the individual chose to stay at home. Is it to be a stay-at-home mom and dad? Then let's begin with empowerment, right? So if you have a breadwinner in the home, you're already the CFO of your household. So let's begin there. Then in terms of mindset, are you a financial contributor? So even if you're not earning a salary, right, your role saves thousands in the household. So again, in terms of your contribution, even if it's not through childcare, if it's through home management, let's recognize your economic value. And why is it important in terms of chatting about these financial savings? Because for years, if we go back, in decades, financial independence is important. But when we talk about control of your resources, we'll unpack that as we go along.
Let's speak about that conversation of financial independence, because being a stay-at-home parent has opened many, in the past to financial abuse, where you're seen just because you're not going to work and you don't have a pay slip, that you're not a financial contributor. Therefore, you're left out of the budgeting, left out of the plan, and you're just given what you're given, and you said, okay, this is what you have to work out with. But the finances of the household have to do with all the parties and the partners who contribute. And as you've just stated, those stay-at-home parents do contribute significantly to the finances of the household, even if it's not through a pay slip. So how does a conversation like this start? Because it's not just about this person in particular, but it's about all the people who contribute to the ecosystem of the finances in that house.
Correct. So, Palesa, I think that's an excellent question. And more, we're seeing that in households today. So if we look at about the importance of financial independence, right? For moms, for dads, and for individuals in a household, financial independence is not just about taking over, it's about confidence, right? Knowing that handling your money can give you decision-making power, opportunity, and also security and peace of mind. Remember that life happens. And that is why we do what we do as financial advisors. We help you to be prepared, right? So, let's look at the example of an individual staying a wife, a husband, married with one child. God forbid the husband passes away, the wife is now left in a situation where she can no longer provide for the child if she doesn't have any skills, any education. She now has to go out into the workplace and provide for that child. Who does she rely on? Then, to circle back to your question on financial abuse, this is something that's riveting in our society. Abuse is not just physical, and we're seeing that more and more today. Financial abuse is real and it's very common. It basically happens when somebody withholds money and stops you from working, or it could also happen in a household where somebody monitors every single cent that you spend, right? It traps women and men and individuals because you feel as though you cannot survive financially without that person. So think about that position where you actually have to put out your hand to go to the store, to actually purchase critical essential goods in your home. So that is the reason why financial education is so important, because if you're being denied access to bank accounts, forced to ask for money for those essentials, or continuously being criticized, monitored, whether it be studying, or there's debts opened in your name without your permission. That's where we go to emergency funds and making sure that we're planning for the future. Even if we're sitting in a comfortable position now, there always has to be a plan B.
Yeah, sometimes we also misunderstand this kind of, thinking about the financial elements for a stay-at-home parent, because okay, baby, I got you your nails and I got you that wig that you wanted and you think that is the compensation, right? But how important is it to structure the finances that also assist your partner in ways that are more meaningful and are more comprehensive than just a weave and doing nails and us going on a holiday? We'll speak about that after the break.
Got something to say? Are you passionate about issues that matter?
Do you have a voice that deserves to be heard?
Well, we've got the perfect platform for you. Call in or drop us a WhatsApp on +27 63 406 9126.
And we will call you back.
So you could have your say and be part of the conversation.
30 years of age. I just turned 30 on the 15th of November. So that's who I am,
It's not just talk. It's your chance to air your views.
Share your opinion.
Engage with a community that values your perspective.
Follow us on our social media.
Visit our website at www.channelafrica.co.za
and get ready to share your views
on Channel Africa,
the African perspective.
9 to 12 midday, Central African Time.
On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
I love it when it comes to our Money Matters feature. We always really unearth very important elements of how we should be spending our personal finances. Today, we are speaking to Neressa Appavoo, financial advisor at Old Mutual Limited, giving us a general way of looking at how to, think about financial planning for a stay-at-home parent. The big issue is the fact that a stay-at-home parent doesn't have that paycheck. There's no real financial independence, so they're reliant on their partners most of the time. Neressa, let's speak about that element as well of how do you structure this in a way that is fair, because in every home it will look very differently depending on the resources of that home. But should you structure it via a bank, or is it just a hand me my 1,000 and I'll figure out how to deal with it this month? Or do you think it should be more sustainable in a way that you do have that defined planning behind it?
Yeah. No, excellent question, Benjamin. So I believe that, in terms of structuring your finances, there has to be transparency. So, if we go back to old school Imali discussions, we sit down and we have our little family gatherings and we start with transparency. Openness. Both partners should know when it comes to money, what goes in and what comes out. I often say in our financial literacy sessions that there's always a spender and a saver in a relationship. So which one are you?
Mm-hmm.
And know what is your role in that relationship, and let's learn from that. So define those responsibilities. So say, who is the individual that, for instance, let's go down to the granular, who pays for the groceries, right? So if we're going to get down to the granular, then who saves? So if we're going to get into the saving piece of it, then let's go down to is it going to be, for instance, a grocery stock fair? Are we going to club together with a group of people, go into a large wholesaler, purchase goods and save on our groceries, and then in personal allowances, how do we structure what is, permissible in that relationship, and know that we do not have tiffs in a relationship because we've agreed, in terms of what are personal treats. And it's not like, when you chat a little earlier on about, the example,
The wigs and nails.
the wigs and nails. I love that. Life can be unpredictable. And, women, if you're listening on this call, remember that beauty fades. So we can't always rely on a man. Life can be unpredictable. So you need your financial independence. And if you want to look at, the financial independence, then we need to look at shared goals, protecting each other, regular check-ins, and then how do we go ahead and do this, as a collective? And that would be to work together. What can you bring into a relationship? So if you were a stay-at-home mom today, for example, or stay-at-home dad, can you bake? Can you learn something digital? Can you take on a role that can be working remotely, that can earn an additional income stream? If you're doing a carpool, there's an opportunity for you to maybe look at doing a little round with a friend or two that can generate an additional income stream. There's many, many ways to generate an income stream and to basically add on to that income of yours.
So speaking about that financial freedom or financial independence, I think the worst thing that any adult would want is for each and every want and need to have to call someone or text someone and say, I need this for that. I need 5 rand for this. I need 20 rand for that. And you need some sort of, the independence as you speak about. But if you're not the one that's particularly pulling the financial strings or not the one bringing the income, but you have started maybe that little side hustle that you speak of. How do you engage the money of your side hustle in the household? Because now if you start baking and you start making some money from the baking, will your partner say, well, this money should also be contributed in the household?
Let's go to the groceries.
What must happen? This one must go to the groceries. How do you navigate that situation?
A great question, Palesa. And I love that Benjamin is, chipping in there. How must it go in?
Yeah.
So first things first, recognize your value. Like you said, Palesa, you rightly said, so you've worked hard for this money. You've started the side hustle, you've built your confidence, your mindset is correct. So let's begin by protecting yourself, right? You're going to invest in your future. And the way that you can do that is to decide, do you have an emergency fund? So let's start there. And the first thing that we're going to do is build up the 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund, right? You're going to chat to your partner. Obviously, if you've got debt and if you are sinking in debt, that's a different discussion, because that's why I say everyone needs to chat to a financial planner, because everyone on this call has got a different life stage and a different personal circumstance. And if you're sinking in debt and living hand to mouth and literally you've got debt collectors at your door, then the conversation is different, because then we're going to be having a different discussion, for instance, paying off the smallest debt first. But then tracking your source of income. So if we're in a standard home where your spouse is supporting you, you're living an average lifestyle, then let's go to tracking the money. Old Mutual have got an excellent tool. And our tool is called Moneyversity. And what we do, it's a free digital platform. And we teach adults and children alike in terms of how to go about saving. We've got free courses that you can complete. You go onto moneyversity.co.za, register for our courses, and we teach you how to go about educating yourself, saving this money, joining the movement, earning points for parents and for children. It's financial education. So learn about money, because then you learn how to budget. You learn how to use financial tools. There are many financial tools today, right? And then explore the income opportunity. So if you're doing the baking, for instance, then learn how to grow the business as you go on. The income may be a little now, but how do you grow? So then let's talk about compound interest. So that's why, again, we got to educate ourselves. The only way that we move from this is financial education. Because if you're going to take 100 Rand and store it under the mattress, it's not going to grow. So we need that money to actually continue to grow on in terms of compound interest and work for you whilst you're sleeping.
Well, we have to let it go there and wrap up. You've given us some wonderful tips, Neressa. Thank you so much. But I wanted to go back and find out that online platform that people can use by Old Mutual that can actually help them get some good resources. Because you say the website again?
The website is moneyversity.co.za. So www.moneyversity.co.za, an online platform, and it basically is financial education, fun, engaging and accessible to children and to adults.
Fantastic. I love that even children can be part of that experience of learning about money. Neressa, you are fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Benjamin. Thank you, Palesa, and thanks to our audience.
That's Neressa Appavoo, financial advisor at Old Mutual Limited. Hey, man, I like that approach, that it's multifaceted. It doesn't mean that you just wait for your partner to give you something, but also you can use some of your soft skills. Maybe you can also find out what talents you have at home, and you can actually use that to make some kind of a side hustle.
Absolutely love that.